All right, well, good morning, folks. It is Nick Mulbauer here, and I'm gonna be real up front with you. I've been fishing since 7 a.m. and the time now is 10 a.m. I've caught one small bass, one small crappie. I've been on two different bodies of water before I got on this one, and within 5 minutes of being here, I caught a little largemouth. But it's been a cold spring. I brought that up about every video, and the water temps are still in the low 50s here in Iowa, central Iowa, and yeah, the fishing's just not good yet. I haven't been doing well on these deeper bodies. If you go fish a suburban retention pond or something shallower where the water's a little warmer, I've been doing pretty well on those and the little stints I've been fishing those. Water clarity's not as great on some of the bodies. This is the clearest one I've fished, and I got that bite pretty quick. I won't get too long-winded, but yeah, the bite's been slow this morning, long story short. I got a 3-inch Gulp Minnow on, chartreuse color, because the water's pretty murky. It's got about a foot of clarity, 1.5 feet, and I'm just gonna work this shallow shoreline. I mean, the sun is beating down. We finally got some warm days. The last 2 days have been warmer, but this is the second day of warm weather we've had. We kind of had a cooler day, but you know, warm relatively speaking to the way it's been. Yesterday it was really warm, super beautiful out, and today it's warm and sunny. So I'm gonna try to hit the shallow water, hoping some fish are holding up and some water being warmed up and radiated by the sun, and hopefully we'll come up with a few more fish, because I'd like to round out the day with more than a tiny crappie and a tiny bass. So stay tuned. We'll chuck this swim bait, the catch-all, and hopefully we'll get into one. There's a fish. Second cast, guys, after turning on the GoPro. Like I said, I think they're warming up on this shallow bank here that gets sun all since I think this bank picks up sunshine earlier than the rest of this pond, so it's had the most time to get warm. So the last one I caught was just the same thing, cookie cutter, little largemouth. But you know, considering the fact that I planned on catching panfish this morning and that didn't pan out, I have 4-pound line and a light action rod, and yeah, so it's light tackle, and you know, that makes even those smaller bass a little bit more fun. So, but if I get a big one on, I'll have to play it a little less aggressively since I have the light line on. But we'll see what happens here. Oh, look at this, guys. Crappie. Wouldn't you know? Came as a surprise too. Little white crappie there. That's wonderful. Oh, maybe there's a couple more in here. Maybe we found them. I thought I came out here for bass, but if they're gonna be hanging out, yes please. That's the thing about crappie. You have to thoroughly work it when that happens. There's a fish. Oh, another crappie, folks. Hey. All right. Another white crappie. Unhook him and get him back. On that 3-inch minnow. They have a big enough mouth to take down that 3-inch if they're hungry enough. Another little white. Maybe there's a bigger one hanging out. Just have to see. Am I on to something? Kind of doubt it. It's just not a day where I feel like I'm going to be on to anything. Here's one. Ooh, a crappie. A black crappie. Species number, where are we at? Bluegill, white crappie, black crappie, largemouth. And it's another absolute slab. Another slab. Today is a wash, guys. It's just a wash. Kind of just one of those days where you go out with big ideas and nothing materializes. You wouldn't know a good day if you didn't have a tough one every now and then, though. That's a matter of fact. There's something a little better. Ooh, that's a decent crappie, guys. Just gotta complain a little bit and then you pull up something a little better. Flip him in. Hey, a little bit of excitement for the morning, guys. That is exciting for me this morning. Isn't that crazy? Something that small is exciting to me today. Switching over to that 1 1/4, actually getting them to bite. Is that what the trick is? Just ultra finesse? Is that what it's gonna take? This is the same spot I pulled my first crappie off this morning. Ooh, there's a nice one, guys. Another decent one. Getting them patterned in. We're rebounding from our crummy day. Here we go, guys. Another white crappie there. Yeah. Love that. Thump. That's what I am talking about. I think I found out the impossible. 48 ounce jig head. 1 1/4 inch plastic minnow. Grinding slow retrieve. Just ridiculously slow retrieve. Just so slow. It's crazy. I always say slow, but I'm fishing slower than that today. That's how I'm picking these fish up. Just so slow. I can't stress that enough. Oh, little dinker. White crappie. I think the last one was a black. Well, we're getting some numbers. We're just having to work real hard. Really hard for those numbers. And fishing a lot slower than I would have liked to today. And the quality's not there. So it is what it is. Here's another fish. What do we got here? Another crappie. It's a better one. That's a little better. I would have had a dinner tonight. Would have definitely had some dinner tonight. And the majority of these fish are being caught on that. If you want to know what that looks like. 48 ounce, 1 1/4 inch jighead. And that's all they are to it. Slowly reeling the crappie killer, panfish killer. Oh, there's another one. That's 3 casts in a row on that tree. I think scaling down is the best decision I could have made today. And fish afternoons in the spring. I think the bite's kind of heating up too as the sun gets higher in the sky. That's pretty crucial. Need that warm up. It can really help your day. There's one. Boy, I wish there was just some size to these guys, you know? The bite has picked up incredibly. I'm just tossing 48 ounce jighead. It's a Bobby Garland jighead and a Bobby Garland soft plastic minnow. 1 1/4 inch. I know I've said that, but that is the reason why these fish are biting. Hey-oh, there's a better one. See, it's just kind of like, you know, sorting. And this isn't a big fish, but, you know, it's a little bit better in size. And they're all just hanging out. We got bass, bluegill, and crappie all just hanging out in this corner on all this cover. There's just sticks down there and trees and limbs, and they're just hanging out. I saw a bass take a bluegill off the surface. They're just stacked up over here. There's another fish right there. Okay, folks. Well, I'm just trying to decide what to say about this trip. I'm going to call it a loss. It was a total crapshoot, and it was a wash. I came out here today, this morning, to try to find panfish, and that was not going well. Panfish, tried to find crappie for about 2 hours. It didn't work out. Went to 2 different bodies of water, didn't work out. Came onto this pond, decided to switch gears and try to catch some bass with light gear, and that worked for about the first 5 minutes I was here. No, nothing. Can't get anything to bite. Finally go over to all those trees and junk, and a light switch flipped, or I don't know what happened. But you know, I ended up catching a lot of crappie, some bluegill, but nothing of really any good quality. But sometimes that's the way it goes. I can say this day ended up better than I thought it was going to end, but can't necessarily say it was a fantastic day. I think the only thing that made it a little better was the fact that I had a 48 ounce jighead and a 1 1/4 inch swim bait. Anything can get their mouth around that is basically what it came down to. But I'm going to forge the river here, call it a day. And I think the deal is that water just needs to get a little warmer. It's still hovering, you know, in the low 50s in a lot of our bodies of water, and I think that just needs a little bit more, you know. It just needs that extra push. We got a week of 80-degree weather coming our way this week. I think 4 or 5 days of weather that's going to be 80 to 90 degrees, so that will be a drastic change, and that should warm up the water substantially and hopefully warm up the bite, and hopefully we'll catch some more quality panfish. Anyways, what a day, what an interesting day. Ben and I always appreciate y'all watching our vids. We hope you guys enjoy them. Hopefully we got some way better fishing coming our way this year yet. So y'all take care. I'll see you next time. See ya.